welcome to the first ever episode of Pigskin Over Pizza.
Pop! Pop, pop, pop! Sorry. You don't like it? You don't like the pop?
A show where we discuss sports while eating and eventually reviewing a hopefully delicious pizza. I'm your host, Casey, on my good friend and co-host, Derek. Derek, how's it going?
It's about to be a lot better. I am hungry.
Yeah, where are we eating from today?
I was going to flip the box back over and show that, but I realized we don't have the potential right now. Classic Pizza
That's
in
right.
Westerville.
Western Ohio, that's right.
Yep, a favorite. So, full disclosure, we're going to try to do places that we haven't had most of the time, but sometimes we're going to do places that we know we like. And since our first episode, we're going to start it off with a bang. This is one of my favorites, and I haven't had it in a long time.
It's one of my favorites and I've had very recently, as we were talking before we started this.
Yes, classic pizza. Not worth it. Classic pizza. I was going to show the box, but it's just not going to happen.
So we should just dig in and get a couple pieces to start with?
We'll just eat some pizza and we'll talk some sports.
All right, the date is June 8th, by the way. My intro wasn't, you kind of threw me off your pops. I should probably also start with the fact for people if they're new watching this and wondering what's happening if you're watching some video, which we're going to put this in podcast services, but this is definitely the podcast that's most important to watch on video if you want the full experience. But I'm cleaning my pizza here.
How do you order it, first of all?
Yeah, I always only get cheese and then always a light amount of sauce and no shake on top, like none of the nasty green, fucking nasty seasonings they throw on there.
I love all of that. So my reviews are already going to be a little skewed.
And then sometimes I put too much sauce or sometimes there's a creepy ingredient hiding in here. So you got to lift it up, do some sauce rubbing, get it back on there, and it's good to go.
I don't do any of that. I just eat the pizza.
That's weird. Who does that?
I don't know. Weirdos, I guess.
All right. So, how you feeling so far?
So much better.
Okay. Getting some sports then? Getting into some sports?
Well, what have you been up to?
Good question. What have you been up to first?
I'll go first. I have been, it's definitely going to pick up that right before I start talking. We're trying out a noise gate. So if it starts to cut off words, just know we know, and we'll fix it next week. But we're trying to not have as much
the nasty fucking sound.
So we're trying not to have that. But there might be some, so fucking deal with it. We're eating pizza. We'll have it fixed. What have I been up to? Not a whole lot. Working, taking care of the dogs. Yeah, playing games. Not as much games though.
That's not good.
It's not, unfortunately. But saw A Quiet Place 2. I liked it. We'll probably talk more about that tomorrow, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And then I'm seeing The Conjuring tonight, so we'll probably also talk about that tomorrow. So come back for that.
Yeah, Derek will be on the current backlogs for the first, well, not for the first time. The first time we'll have more than 2 people on it for episode 69.
On 6/9 is when
That's
we'll
right.
record it. Fuck yeah. But yeah, I haven't been up to too much, just working, chilling, watching some movies here and there, playing some games.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
Working as well. Did some more Uber Eats as well. And then I went to Pins last night.
In Easton?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been to that one. I've been to other Pins, but I haven't been to Easton.
I hear it has a slide.
It does. It's not well designed.
Perfect.
And maybe it's just because I'm long, but I hit my legs hit like 3 times, and I could barely slide down it. And ironically, you can barely see them, but right here and here, I got 2 burn marks. I was like, are you shitting me? But I went there because my brother Nick, that's been on Things We Shouldn't Admit, is moving out of state. So we did one last thing before he left. So we went there together.
Makes sense.
And, yeah. I feel like there's some other stuff, but I know we don't have a ton of time tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's another thing. I'm seeing The Conjuring, so I'm really fucking this whole thing up.
Oh, no, you're good. I just would rather spend it talking about the sports and whatnot since it's our first episode.
Yeah, I'm getting down to this pizza. Yeah.
you're gonna be here tomorrow, and I'm sure it's gonna be a long ass episode. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be like a 3-hour banger or something. So, which I'm not opposed to at all.
Oh yeah, me either. So we can get into some foosball here if you want.
Foosball first?
Yeah, I'm changing it up because I know you're big about people might not stay till the end, and I know football is what you care most about. I did the other ones. The reason I did the other sports first because I was trying. Yeah, they're shorter, and you didn't have much to add, so I was trying to not just have it front loaded with you having stuff to say, and then just me talking the rest of the show.
That is what it is. But we can do football first. Seahawks front. Well, not even Seahawks. Aaron Rodgers didn't report to camp.
I saw that.
He might be getting fined. He probably won't though, because he's protected. It's also, I think, still voluntary, or is it mandatory now?
I thought it was still voluntary, but
I guess now you can still be fined. But that's just an interesting thing to note. Do you remember who Tony Jefferson is? I'm just going off my memory right now. He was a safety for the Ravens.
I was gonna say a name doesn't sound familiar, if I'm being honest.
He tore his ACL and he just signed with another team. If I wasn't on my fucking memory, I would tell you which team it was too. That was kind of big because he was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be a Seahawk, but he is a Tennessee Titan.
Yeah. We talked about this, I think, last week on our old show, which we can't say last week now. It's just the old show.
The former,
yeah,
not his pizza show.
But I know I said I thought it'd be the Ravens. I wish this was like a daily podcast because somebody posted a picture of him in a Titans uniform before that happened. Oh shit, I could see that. But now it just seems like I'm saying that because the Ravens still wouldn't surprise me. But
the Titans were, the Seahawks were betting favorites for a little bit, but the Titans were always really close to being. So
yeah, they got him for a second-round pick next year in the 2022 draft, and then a 4th and a 6th in the 2023 draft.
A 2nd and a 4th. The Titans get a 6th. And Julio.
This says the Falcons will get a 2nd-round pick next year and a 4th pick for Jones and a 6th-round pick.
The way it should be.
Because that's on the Falcons' own website.
I know Ian Rapodick really worded it weird. But someone broke it down. It was because that's why everyone was freaking out. Because they got a pick back, a 6th. I was almost positive it was just 2 picks. And of course I can't find it. Maybe though. I mean, it's one of those two. Either way, it's. Well, I guess that's actually pretty different.
Yeah, because initially I saw it was a 2nd-round pick, and I was like, that's a fucking steal. But a 2nd, and then a 4th and a 6th. I mean, it's a lot more even. You're obviously Julio Jones is still the win there, but
the Falcons will get a 2022 2nd-round pick and a 2023 4th-round pick for sending Jones and a 2023 6th-round pick to Tennessee.
Okay.
That's on the Titans website.
That still is
That's a better deal.
Yeah, that's definitely better for the Titans. I don't think it's as uneven as people are making it out to be because everybody knew that Julio Jones wasn't going to re-sign there. So on paper it looks terrible, but you have to take in consideration. It's like when somebody demands a trade, you're not going to get what you should normally get for that player. So Falcons can only do what they can for him.
Yeah. Also, you can't give up a ton because you have to take on that contract too.
Yeah.
So that's crazy news. I'm okay him not being a Seahawk for sure. Again, the contract I think we're in talks with Jamal Adams. He's not at camp, so I'm assuming that means he's going to hold out. Whatever. I do what they got to do to get their money, I guess. So I'd rather spend it on Jamal Adams than a 30-year-old, 30 plus.
Sure how old he is.
He's in his 30s. He might be 30. But receiver, when we have DK, Tyler, we just drafted a couple dudes, young guys. So it would have been cool, but I'm fine with him not being a Seahawk. Seahawks news. Most of the vets are at voluntary camp. They just reported. So Russell Wilson's
Okay.
there. So apparently he still wants to be a Seahawk. DK's there. They had some press conferences today. Apparently this new offense is going to be really intriguing, and they said there's routes that people have never seen before, which my football knowledge says there's only 9 routes. So I'm pretty interested in seeing what that means. I'm very excited for this offense. We re-signed our punter to a I got rid of it. To a 4-year, $14.5 million contract, which is pretty good for an All-Pros rookie year, decent second year, and an even better third year. But I think I only got him a Pro Bowl this year. But it's a $3 million average salary. So he did his job and then some this last year. So I'm glad we got him locked up. That locks up our kicker, our long snapper, and our punter, and they were all great last year. So I'm really excited about Seahawks. That's, I think, most of the news for me on football. I'm sure there's other stuff that's happening, but
Yeah.
that's the only stuff I care about.
I can't really think of anything on the Broncos end.
Didn't you want James get signed by somebody?
I was going to say that, yeah, he got signed by the Ravens. And then there's some big case going on with that $15 million from the Broncos, but I didn't look into that, so I didn't want to talk about that till I know more about it. But yeah, I saw he signed with the Ravens, which is odd that they would sign a player that has played like 1 game the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't see a contract. Maybe they got him at like the NFL minimum or something. I don't know why you'd sign a player unless you got him for something like that. But I'd be surprised if somebody that's arguing over money is going to sign a small contract. That'd be kind of odd. The only other bit of news I saw was some sad news. Don't want to bring the show down. But it was... I hate you. Jim Fossil, the coach, a longtime coach of the Giants, died today.
Okay.
He was 71. It's always... Obviously, it's sad when anybody dies unless it's somebody that's truly a terrible person. But it's extra weird when it's somebody that, not that you know, but it's weird that you grow up like watching these players or coaches, so you feel like you kind of know them.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Giants fan. I'm not going to act like I am. But he coached from like 97 to 2003, whatever it would be. And so that was like my growing up years watching football. So I recognize him. So it was weird to see. And then I'm not going to act like I knew this. I saw it on the Broncos Twitter. He was the offensive coordinator for the Broncos from 93 to 94, or those 2 years, I should say. So it's weird that there's that connection. I didn't even know that. I do know a lot of Broncos history, as I'm sure you do Seahawks, and as sports fans do, from before they were born, or that was when I was born, about 3 and 4 or something. I can't remember any of that. And you figure out just by being a fan, you want to learn the history, or from even watching games, they'll say stuff like that. That's why I'm kind of surprised I didn't know he was the offensive coordinator for the Broncos, because you feel like when they played the Giants, they'd be like, oh, this is the former offensive coordinator of the Broncos. They usually just say that kind of stuff. But that was the only other thing I saw in the NFL today. And I've been watching a lot of the IFL, the Indoor Football League, because I'm enjoying it. It's getting me excited for the Wild Dogs, our team coming here. And it's been fun watching it. And I'm rooting for the Frisco Fighters, which is weird.
Yep.
It's weird because I hate Texas, and they're in Texas.
I knew that.
The only reason I am is because they're owned by the same ownership that's gonna own the Wild Dogs, or owns the Wild Dogs.
Okay.
And Bobby Olive, the coach of the Wild Dogs, is, I think, the offense coordinator there now, so that way he can get a better hang of the indoor game before he starts coaching the Wild Dogs. So it's kind of cool rooting for him. And he was a wide receiver of Ohio State as well. So
Okay. Nice.
So that's a team I'm rooting for, and I know nobody pays attention to IFL on here, so I can't even really say I'm a bandwagon fan, but again, it kind of feels like because they're 3-0 and the only undefeated team in the league.
Gotcha.
Of course.
Yeah. Fuck it.
But that's all the football I've been doing this week.
Gotcha. Right on.
Nothing else you want to talk about?
We're starting to get to the point where things are starting to happen. But
Yeah.
as of right now, no.
That's another reason why I thought we'd start with football, because since we started doing this football, there hasn't really been much to talk about anyways. I feel like that's going to start changing. And I was thinking, the reason I said football and not NFL, if you listen to our old podcast, I always specify the leagues. But I feel like we should start specifying the sport because eventually there'll be college football, there'll be the IFL, MLS, or soccer, there'll be the World Cup, all that stuff. So, again, start with soccer, though. I almost said MLS right after I just explained that. The Crew haven't played since last time podcast, so they're still in 6th place right now in the East.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a little bit of soccer happening. I don't know if you saw this. USA played Mexico in the what do they call this fucking nonsense? I forget how you say it. The CONCACAF Cup, I think. I know what it is, and it's a big deal. And soccer fans would probably behead me if I said it wrong, but I definitely said it wrong. But the point of it is, the U.S. In international has obviously, for the most part, been a joke in soccer, sadly, especially when comparing to countries like Mexico.
Yeah.
And they won 3-2. I actually watched it. It was a super exciting game. This is a team that will eventually play in the World Cup, so that's the other big thing. It's kind of like not expedition games because they're playing full rosters, but essentially like preseason games leading up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And the U.S. went up 1-0. I put notes here while I was watching it. Or sorry, Mexico went up 1-0 in the first fucking minute. So everybody thought Mexico would blow out the U.S. Even U.S. fans did because that's just how it goes. But then the U.S. tied it up to the 27th minute. And then Mexico took the lead at the 79th minute. And then the U.S. took the lead only 4 minutes later. And then went to extra time, and the U.S. won in penalty kicks. So that was exciting as you can get for soccer because I love soccer, but I'll be the first one to admit that there's some games that are so fucking boring to watch. And those soccer fans will tell you that that's just great defense and is amazing ties.
Like gets their dick hard, a 0-0 game.
There is some of those, just like there is in football, but there's also times when football has that and it's just terrible. It doesn't automatically mean it's good defense, as in American football. But another reason I'm more attached to it is because the coach of the U.S. team is the former coach of the Crew, and the starting goalie is the former starting goalie of the Crew. And then Will Trapp, you probably know his name.
Yep.
I thought you would because
it sounds familiar, but also sounds like a super generic name. So,
well, he's from Gahanna, and then he came. It's kind of like a walk-on situation, essentially what would be a walk-on situation with the Crew, but then he ended up becoming the team captain eventually. There's
Will Trapp.
Yes. I'm questioning that now because he spells Will with one L, which always throws me off. So now you make me overthink this. We're going to do a quick check here. There are 2 P's.
Okay.
2 P's in
I feel
pod.
like I can see it. I don't know why. So maybe I have.
Yeah, so he eventually became the captain of the Crew, which was already crazy for somebody to kind of like essentially walking on. But now he's part of the U.S. team, which is just a whole nother level of craziness.
That is nice.
The U.S., like I said, traditionally has, with some exceptions, has struggled in international play. But a lot of people, not just Crew fans, are thinking that with the roster they built, this could be a turnaround. Because not that they just got the Crew's coach, they got him for a reason. He was the best coach in the MLS at the time and left for this. So that tells you how big it is.
Nice. Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. The World Cup's still a little bit away.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be facing, Mexico's a great team. You're going to be facing a whole different kind of ball game there. And then next we can move to baseball. Do you want to cover your teams first?
Yeah, let me cover so you can eat a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I don't need you talking the whole time. Then your food's cold, and you get a shit review. Jesus.
Well, I'll give a hint. Right now, I'm between a 1 and a 2.
We rate out of 8, by the way. We'll explain that at the end.
And that was a joke, anyway.
I think I already know what I'm going to give it. This is going to score differently, though, than what I would score a full-sauced pepperoni classic.
You said you're always going to do cheese, though, right?
This is how I'm going. I have to get it like you, because if I get my own pizza, I'm going to eat the whole fucking thing, and all my calorie counting is just thrown out the window.
Yeah, so I was going to say, even though you're taking that into account, that's going to be a count for every pizza.
Maybe I'll just score them, whatever. Just based on this.
Yeah.
I'm excited to score it, I'll tell you that much. My teams are not on my list again, so I have to type them in. The Indians are 31-26, and they're just destroying the Cardinals right now. They butt fucked the Orioles, and then the Orioles turned around and butt fucked them 18-5. So that's interesting. So they're doing well. Oh, let's see where they are standings wise, because we like to look at that stuff. They are in second, and they are 4 games behind the White Sox. The Marinators are losing. They are 30-31, so they've fallen below average. They are in. I don't remember where they were last time. I think that they're in the same spot though. They're in third. They're 5 games behind the A's, 3 behind Houston. So not far ahead. Los Angeles, I think it's who that is. LAA.
Yeah, the Angels.
Okay.
Los Angeles Angels or Anaheim. Dumbest shit ever.
Isn't there a LA Dodgers?
Yep. And
Okay.
there used to just be the Anaheim Angels, which made a lot more sense.
Okay, that's why baseball's stupid. So Mariners, whatever, still like normal. You want me to just cover the Reds real quick, and then you can give me a story about them, so you can eat more.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
I appreciate it though. So last time we talked, the Reds were 5 games under 500 and 6 games out of the National League Central. And since then, they've went 5-1, and I also went to one of the games. It was against the Phillies. They won 11-1, so a great game to go to because they've been up and down, as you know, as from listening to our old show here. But 11-1, destroyed the Phillies, very similar to what you were just talking about. The next game they lost something I should put in here. It was ridiculous. So like 18-3 against the same team.
Literally what just happened, yeah.
Yeah. But then, like I said, they went 5-1. So after that, they followed it up by sweeping the Cardinals 4 games in a row. And the Cardinals, when we started this, the old podcast, were the first team in the NL Central. So some crazy stats here before I talk more. That was the first time the Reds have swept the Cardinals since 2017. And the first time since 1990 that they swept the Cardinals in St. Louis.
Okay. I was not alive.
That was the year I was born, but I think this is lined up for something. That's also the last time they won the World Series.
Oh.
Coincidence? Yeah, probably, but hopefully not.
I think not.
Even weirder is the last time they swept the Cardinals in 1990, it was another 4-game series, which is not the normal series in baseball. Normally it's 3, sometimes 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a lot of weird things like that are odd coincidences. And it's also crazy, I'm saying this as a Reds fan, that they haven't swept the Cardinals because like I said, they're usually a 3-game series. So that's kind of nuts. They haven't swept the Cardinals in St. Louis since 1990. And it's a division rival. So yeah, it's a team you play often. In my lifetime, I'd have to look it up, but I know within the last 10 years, the Cardinals have dominated us. So in a sense, it's not crazy, but at the same time, that's just fucking bonkers, especially because sometimes there's even 2-game series. So that's fucking nuts. Yesterday's game, Nick Castellanos, or 2 days ago, they had an off day. Their last game before we start recording, Nick Castellanos' 21-game hit streak came to an end. But that's
sad.
Yeah, that's the longest of his career and the longest by any player in the majors this year. Jesse Winker in the last game had another 3-home run game. That's right. And another weird coincidence. I thought if this happened, I was going to be a little creeped out. The same date last year, Scooter Gennett hit 4 home runs for the Reds. And it was the exact same date. I was like, if this guy hits 1 more home run, this is too crazy, especially because that's only happened 17 times in the entire major leagues that players hit 4 home runs.
Yeah.
And Scooter Gennett was the first Reds player to ever do it. So Jesse Winker would have been the second. They would have done it on the exact same date. He's just 1 home run short, which obviously, yeah, exactly. So that's fucking bonkers. The last game they played against the Cardinals, they built up a 7-0 lead, the Reds did. And then in the 6th inning, they let them get 7 runs. And so it was tied at 7. And then that came down to the last inning, and the Reds took it. It was crazy, though. I was listening on the radio while I was doing Uber Eats. I was like, oh, man, you're really going to blow this? And then I wish I was able to watch it. It sounded like a fucking awesome game. But all that is to say, now they're only one game under 500 at 28 and 29. But the crazy thing is, they only made up 2 games in the division. So now they're 4 games out instead of 6 after going 5-1 and
That's sad.
beating the top team at the time. That top team is now in 3rd place, so they kind of just knocked them down and then let other teams, gave the other teams the ability to jump up, which sucks ass. But obviously, winning is always better in the long run. That's going to help even if other teams are jumping.
Yeah.
But that's all I had for baseball. We can move to hockey if you want.
Sure. There's nothing new with the Kraken. I'll tell you that much right now. I looked, too.
Did you?
Yeah, there's nothing. No, they got the 2nd pick in the lottery.
That's true.
So there is something. They got the 2nd pick.
Blue Jackets, again, kept with tradition and somehow did not move up and stayed back at their spot.
Okay.
I was wrong. I'll correct myself. They've never moved up in the draft, they have moved up one time in the draft, but they've never gotten the 1st pick from being there.
Okay.
And we know their history of how many times bad finish they have, so that's incredible in itself.
Yep.
And then still the fact that they've only moved up one time in their history just seems a little too odd. They at least didn't fall back this time. Majority of the time they fall back, not even just stay in their own spot, but they had the 5th pick, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then their first round pick for in 2020, his name's Igor Chinnikov. I bet you can't guess where he's from.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Russia.
Bingo. It's the most Russian name ever. He won Rookie of the Year in the KHL today, which is Russia's biggest hockey league. So
the Kitty Hockey League.
A lot of people, when they drafted him, like NHL, not NFL, experts were mocking it because there was like the clear choice of who you should have taken. And they were saying this guy had talent, but they never can make it in the NHL. And we'll see. This isn't a sign they can. But I think it's not a bad sign. The top league in Russia, if he's winning Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Russia's a pretty crazy place, so if you're winning anything there, it's probably good.
So I think it's definitely a good sign. Speaking of the KHL, some not great news for the Blue Jackets. Mikhail Chinarico, which there you go. He was decent for the Blue Jackets last year, and he was an unrestricted free agent, so he might not even re-sign to the Blue Jackets, but he announced that he's going to go back to the KHL, so that's how big of a deal the KHL is to Russian players, that some of them will leave the NHL to go back there.
Okay.
So not the biggest blow, but he looks like he has some potential, so definitely not good news either. We can talk about the playoffs for a second. It's down to the final, what do we have here? 5 teams now. You have the Avalanche versus the Knights, and then the Canadiens are waiting for the winner of that series. And they have the Islanders and Bruins and the Hurricanes and Lightning. The Avalanche, last time I talked, I told you how they seemed unstoppable, but I don't always trust the unstoppable team, and I think they were the most likely and seemed like they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I think they had a 1 win. They won the next game, but then they've lost to 2 after that, so now the series is tied at 2. I still think they'll win the series, but like I said, I was always kind of on the gate about that anyways, or on the fence, not gate. And then the other series, the Islanders lead the Bruins 3-2, and I fucking hate the Bruins. I don't mind the Islanders. And the Islanders are the lowest seed in that bracket, so I'd rather an underdog win. And the Islanders feel like they used to be really good in the 80s, but they have not been good in my lifetime at all. They made it to the playoffs and had like good runs, but never been like the top team. And the Bruins are always near the top, so I'd rather see a team that is not expected to win, especially when the Bruins coach had this big press conference about how they could win the series if the referees would call it fairly, and he just doesn't know how they're not getting any calls. And to explain this to you, this would be the equivalent of like Tom Brady talking about he never gets a call.
Okay.
Everybody knows when you play the Bruins, the officiating's a little lopsided.
Okay.
So I haven't watched these games. Maybe that is true, but if it is, that if anything's kind of evening out there, you need some of those. Like I said, the Canadiens knocked out the Jets. They're waiting for the winner of the Avalanche and Golden Knights. They swept the Jets 4-0. That's another one I don't care about. The Canadiens, and they're obviously a Canadian team, which the name might imply. Yeah, and I always root against the Canadian teams just because we're from the U.S. I think it's funny that their sport, majority of the time we win. I know we have way more teams, so but still, it's kind of funny how little their teams actually win. But what makes it a little harder is They were the lowest seed in their bracket as well, and they were the team that was getting destroyed by Toronto, and then they came back and took it in Game 7,
Okay.
and then swept the next team. So rather, again, somebody's not expected to win to do that. And then you have the Lightning against the Hurricane. Like I said, they're down. The Hurricane are down 3-1. The Hurricanes are definitely the other team I'm rooting for besides the Avalanche. So hopefully that changes. And I think that's all I got. Besides, there is a debate right now if the Blue Jackets, in the Blue Jackets community and the NHL, about if the Blue Jackets should go full rebuild or if they should just try and get some more assets, like current players, to build a team around again.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure why that's a debate. I could see the argument for it, but I think if you're making that debate, you have to look at the current roster and what the Blue Jackets used to be. People would have fucking lose their minds to have the players we have now, and I don't think you give up on all these players you have after one bad season. And then if you fire your coach because you said your coach was holding back all these players, and then you want to get rid of all your players, then it wasn't really the coach's issue.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is they're one of the youngest, if not the youngest teams in the league too, so a rebuild seems kind of counterproductive. And then you have some top players that are aging, but not like out of their prime yet or anything. So we'll see how they handle it. I think that would be the complete wrong move.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring it up on here and see how
it ages.
Yeah, so that way I can look back on it and cover it as it goes based off the moves they're making, see how they follow it.
Gotcha.
I'd be surprised if they do that, especially when I talk about
it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but this isn't like something you have to like search like hard for or anything. It's like a real debate going on right now. I don't really get this.
Fans are stupid, man.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little NBA.
Yeah, we can do that.
Jokic. Nikola? I don't know how to say that
I think
name.
so.
One MVP. Just worth noting, I guess. Again, I don't follow basketball, so this is more just I'm covering the sport.
Some player doing that.
The Lakers got bounced. The Trailblazers got bounced. The Mavericks bounced. Grizzlies bounced. Celtics bounced. The Heat gone.
They didn't get bounced.
No. The Knicks. All these teams got. I mean, except for the Mavericks, I guess, got bounced. They all got the shit kicked out of them. Philly moved on. The Knicks lost, so the Hawks moved on. Atlanta's playing Philly. Atlanta leads 1-0. Brooklyn's playing Milwaukee. Brooklyn's winning 2-0 because Brooklyn looks unstoppable. Almost said the Chargers. LA? The Clippers. And the Jazz are tied. They haven't played. Phoenix and Denver. Phoenix leads 1-0. And this is the first time in 18 years, LeBron's 18-year career, that he has lost in the first round of the playoffs.
I saw that. That was one thing I was going to add because I saw that.
15-1 in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts, especially when you combine that with the fact of all the terrible teams he was on with the Cavaliers.
Yeah,
that he's able to do that.
Crazy. It's also the first time since 2010 that Steph Curry or LeBron James is not in the finals.
Oh, really?
I think. You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure 2010. It could be 2016. Those are the 2 years I had in my head, but I went with the older one because it sounded cooler.
That's fair. I did see something crazy. Trying to look it up. I think this is the right series, though. The Clippers and Mavericks, did you see the first 6 games were all decided the road team won it each time?
Really? I didn't see
Yeah, I was checking to see if the last game followed that, but the home team won the last game. But it's still crazy that every game the road team won, and then kind of even more weird that the last game was the only one that didn't happen.
Weird.
Or how should we do this? There's a few things. We talked about doing his walk-up song. Should we save that for next episode and kind of make the next episode a big episode and just kind of a test run?
We could
Since
do
we
that.
still got a pizza review here.
Yeah, and I know we're speeding through this, but again, I really scheduled my time poorly. So.
Oh, it's okay. We're going to do next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, and I have nothing planned next Tuesday.
So we can make it a big episode and get better notes and have better pizza. Well, not better, because it'll be hard to
It is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Let me check my schedule really quick on live. Let me tell you a funny story while I'm checking this. So
Okay.
so I like to go running on days that I eat pizza. I don't know my schedule for next week. They could randomly throw a Tuesday in there, by the way, so we might just have to skip that week. I decided to go running on days I eat pizza because, I try to earn my pizza. There was no rain in the forecast. There was a 30% chance of rain at 6 o'clock. I went running at 7. Apparently, there was a 100% chance that nobody knew about at 7. And there was a torrential downpour, and I got stuck in it. And I was going to walk here, but I was like, I won't do it. And I took a shower in the rain. And it was fucking awful. I was going to say that at the beginning of the podcast, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
So I was just thought I'd share my stupid ass.
No, I liked it.
It was so fucking lame, dude. It was so much rain. It was like the you could see it moving with the wind. It was like so much rain. That's my stupid story. What were you asking? How are we gonna do this? We can save the walk-up songs. I got some good ones though.
Okay.
I also have 6 of them.
The Reds are also playing right now, by the way. They're down 3-1 to the Brewers. And he's got a good notification. Sonny Gray, one of their better pitchers, left the game and he's injured.
Perfect.
So there we go. Joey Votto came back today.
I know him.
Yeah, he was injured for, I think, missed like the last 12 games. So finally got somebody back and then somebody's gone. So we'll see how that goes.
Love that. Oh, no, not important. Go ahead.
Well, you want to talk about your reviewing process here and get into your review?
So what we do here is we review it out of 8, which I looked it up. I don't even think that's the standard number of pieces. I think it's 12.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I just went off what you said.
Yeah, I'm a fucking liar.
Oh, okay.
So in our heads, there was 8 large triangles to make a large pizza. So we were like, let's review it out of slices. So out of 8 slices, how is this pizza?
We can make a on-the-call decision if we want to switch to 10.
Let's just keep it at 8. Fuck
Okay.
it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'm gonna talk about the cheese. I'm gonna talk about the sauce. I'm gonna talk about the crust, mouthfeel. Just the normal stuff. But what's gonna be different, I think, from us is you will probably never hear an 8 out of 8 from me, because I'm always gonna save room for the better pizza, because there could always be a better pizza.
The slice of life, as the kids say.
Yes. So I may review something high. If I'm rating something in the 7s, it is one of the best pizzas ever. Especially if it's like those 7 8s, 7 7s. That's gonna be crazy, and will be few and far. So that's kind of how I'm going to. We're both doing decimals.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll probably never get a whole number out of me.
Really?
No, yeah, never. There's always gonna be a decimal. So.
Well, there always is. You could do it 8.0.
8.1.
There you go.
It's just an impossible score. So that's my reviewing process. So I know yours is going to differ a little.
Yeah, so it's still the same format, the 8 and decimals, like you said. Just the approach is a little different. So, because when I was younger, I always thought 10 should be perfect as well. Like when somebody, IGN or something, gave a 10, I was like, this game has to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything that wasn't, I was like, so this game isn't perfect? But the more I thought about that, I was like, there's never going to be a perfect game.
Never.
So.
And there'll never be a perfect pizza.
Yeah, so for me, if I give it an 8, that doesn't mean it's a perfect pizza. It's a top tier pizza to me. So if I give this an 8, then it's a top tier, but that doesn't mean that there can't be another one because this isn't perfect to me. I'm not saying this will be an 8 for me, but
yeah.
I'm saying hypothetically that's how it'd be for me. I think that would be the only difference there. So like I said, as far as actually rating it, it'd be the same.
At the end of all these, we should make like a tier list.
Okay.
Of like S tier, A tier. Those things are hot right now. I gotta adjust this. So sorry. So that's it. Yeah.
All right.
Do we review?
Yeah. You want to get into yours?
Sure. This is obviously very different than the pizza that I get.
Mm-hmm.
I like cheese pizza. It's thinner than I remember. Has it always been this thin?
Yeah, that's how I always remember it.
It's good. It's really good. The sauce is such a big thing for me at Classics. I used to get extra sauce. Because their sauce isn't sweet. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like not sweet, but it's not like what's the opposite of sweet? Smoky or something? Tangy?
I think it'd be sour.
Sour.
But
It's definitely not
sounds,
sour.
Yeah, so that sounds really gross for pizza.
But some pizzas have that sweet sauce. Some pizzas more. I guess it's more tangy than it is anything else, and I love it. So I'm missing that a little bit. The cheese is cooked perfect. I don't know what kind of cheese they use, but I love it. And the crust is what you'd expect, I guess. It's just a little thinner than I remember.
Mm. It's possible.
It's like almost more crackery.
That's how I remember it, but it's possible maybe it's a little thicker if you get extra sauce, because maybe the bread cooks a little more and thins out.
Maybe.
It wouldn't make that big a difference, but I'm saying maybe a little thicker.
It's just been a long time since I've had it, too.
Yeah.
So, this is always going to be incredible pizza. Even if you take off some of my favorite things like sauce and the seasoning, it's still... I'm trying to review pizzas as they are here. Not like, oh, I know the pepperoni is this.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's another thing that we both agreed on, because you're also going to have, anytime you order a pizza place, there's a potential of them making a good one and making a bad one.
Mm.
And we've had plenty of good classics. I've also had some where I'm like, oh shit, this pizza's not even very good.
This one's good.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're going to try and keep it like that, base it off of that pizza, the pizza we're eating alone. And then maybe if we get a terrible place, like one place that we never had and the pizza's terrible, maybe we could always do a revisit episode, give it a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
If like one really sucks. Because even with pizza this good, I've definitely gotten some that haven't been that great.
Definitely.
Which wouldn't be fair if we tried that and like, yeah, the pizza's not good.
This is, as this is made,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give it a 7.1.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it would be higher, maybe like 7.5 if it had pepperoni, the seasoning, and sauce.
Okay.
But it's still really fucking good. Yeah. Really good.
You're funny. I felt like there was something else I was going to say about our reviewing
You said,
process.
oh, really? And like, oh, it's higher than I thought it'd be, or oh, that's lower than I thought.
No, higher by the way you were talking. Because I thought you might.
I was debating between 6.9 and 7.1.
That would have been good to give it 6.9 your first one, day before 69 day. Sure don't
It
want to
wasn't
go
the
back.
right day. It wasn't the right day. If it was tomorrow, I would have done it.
So I told you I probably won't break it down as much as you, and especially when you do that, I might just go off what you say, because I agree for the most part. Their cheese is really good and cooked absolutely perfect this time, I think.
Yeah, it's cooked great.
I like their sauce. I'm not crazy about it. Sauce does matter to me. I guess something I should explain. I always get light sauce, and everybody's like, why don't, and then I do my process as you saw, and everybody's like, why don't you just get no sauce? And that's because, I tried a no sauce. Even the most minimal amount, even if you literally wiped all of it off, which I don't do that, you still have the flavor that cooks in there when it's cooking. So I still actually do like to taste the sauce. And their sauce is pretty good. The crust, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's kind of bland, but I think it goes with the rest of it really well, is what I would say.
Yeah,
So-
you're not going there for the crust.
Yeah.
This pizza is definitely for if you're a toppings guy. These toppings, it doesn't have flavored crust. They don't have anything really super special. It's just a thin crust. I don't even think they make thick crust, do they?
They do. I only know that because Danielle ordered it once and ordered off of DoorDash or whatever, and she was trying to surprise me, and they brought us pie cut and thick crust, and it was not very good.
Okay. Well, if you like thin crust, I think this is top tier that
Yeah.
I've had.
Yeah. So, like I said, you have to keep in mind for me that that's what my reviewing is. I'm trying to also give myself time because I know I'm blanking on something, but maybe we'll come back to that next episode. This is our first episode.
Yeah.
So I'll just give my rating here after I went over a little bit. I'll say something you're debating on, 7.5.
Okay.
Like I said, even if I give it 8, that doesn't mean it's perfect. That's top tier. And this is one of my favorites, so it might seem like I'm contradicting myself. But I know I've had ones I like more than this. So even though I'm not waiting for 8 to be perfect, I know that there's ones that I've liked more than this, which I know we're trying to keep our mind on just this pizza. But I also do have to keep in mind that I know that there, by default, there's better pizzas out there for sure. But definitely can't go wrong. Classics
No,
at
it's
7.5,
so
7.1 right there. So good stuff.
7.3.
It's only in Westville, Ohio, so it's a local place, but it's really good.
Yep. I think there's 2, and I think they're the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both in Westville, I think.
Yep. That's right.
Great. Highly recommend. We should do one we haven't had next week.
Yeah, if we as long as you're off, when we have more time, we can get stuff better set up and get a new one.
As long as it sounds good, we won't have to fuck with sound next time.
Yeah, let us know how the sound is. I know Derek said that we're gonna expect stuff to happen, but let us know if there's any points or give us like timestamps or whatever, so that way we know what to look for.
Yep.
And I know something we were debating. We kind of disagreed. I'm kind of curious if other people want to weigh in on. I definitely want to try local and different pizza places. I know you say you don't want to do any chains, which...
Oh, I'm fine with doing some chains. I'm not even going to want to try. Like, I'm not even going to eat it.
I was going to say, because I think it'd be fun to do those, just for one, that it'd be kind of funny to have ridiculous, like the most well-known things. And it'd be surprising they are really good, because some pizzas cook different.
Yeah, I guess I say that, but I would probably eat it.
Yeah.
I like pizza.
And then I also think it'd be good because it'll give people a guideline, because we like classics, and majority of people watching this episode probably have classics they know. But this ever catches on, a lot of people aren't going to know what classics taste like, so I think it'd be good to have
a reference point.
Yeah, and everybody's tried. I was going to say Donato's, but that's not true. That's not actually a big chain. But Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, all those.
Yeah.
So, and I can maybe make that sacrifice. You know, my hate for Papa John's.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make the sacrifice for Pizza Hut if you make it for Papa John's.
Make sure you don't put that nasty ass pepper in there. That was what I'm getting it now. Do you have a minute?
Literally about that, yeah.
Okay, it'll only take a minute. I was gonna say a really weird hang up I have is chunky sauce, like chunks of tomatoes in the sauce, or seasonings are in there. Some people have like crazy green spices in there.
Oh yeah. Almost tastes like a pepper or an onion.
Yeah,
because it is a pepper.
So when I'm reviewing it, it's definitely gonna be. Is there something in there?
No, God, no. There's almost nothing.
Oh. Me reviewing it is going to be my personal review. I know that you might obviously imply that because we're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not reviewing it for what other people like, because then I'm kind of just contradicting. It'd be hard to review for what other people like. So my score is based off of the things I like. And then I'll be honest, while we're reviewing it, if like the chunky sauce will be like, that was chunky, so other people might like it, but this is what I review it. So even if I give a pizza that's really well known and liked, if I give it a 1, that's what I would review it, but that doesn't mean the pizza is necessarily bad, and I could state that then.
And I think I speak more for you would like this if you like X. Because I think I'm more on the normal side of the pizza world.
I'm about as normal as it gets.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so how do we end these shows now? Do we still do our clacks? Do we pop out? What's the deal?
We could pop out. Pop. Go
Broncos. I didn't know if we were just going to do like a pop.
I didn't either. Yeah. Thought we just mixed the two together. Good. Oh, that's